Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Scott to Girl podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching a Series of Unfortunate Events. Today I'm talking about Season 2, Episode 9, The Carnivorous Carnival Part 1. So I just finished rewatching this episode and I really enjoyed this episode. This is probably one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. You know, I haven't watched Season 3 yet, but it's one of my favorite episodes up to now. Just because this is an episode where we start to get a lot of the answers. Us in the Baudelaire start a lot of definitive answers about what's going on, what's happening to the Baudelaires, why are these series of unfortunate events occurring, and I like that they finally start to get some of the answers. At the beginning of this episode, we see a flashback to this VFD ball. We get to see all the guardians and the different people their parents knew, all the members of VFD. We see the Snickets, both of them, with terrible hair, but I'm not judging. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that scene, that flashback. We see that apparently Olaf pushed Beatrice off a balcony on the side of a mountain. That seems to be the implication, at least from that flashback, and a couple I think something Lemony Snicket said at one point. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that flashback scene, getting it a couple times throughout this episode. At the end of the episode, the Baudelaires get to see some video footage from that. You know, they get to see Uncle Monty saying, you know, his catchphrase, "Life is, what is it? Something of esoteric." Well, I can't remember exactly how it is. I should have wrote that down. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that part of this episode. And then obviously at the end where the Baudelaires go through all the files. But I'll get to that in a moment. There's a few other things I really enjoyed about this episode. What's it say? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So we see the VFD eye everywhere again, like when they show up to the carnival, and it's everywhere. And I just love that about this show and about the book in particular. This thing is hidden everywhere. It's hidden in different words and expressions, all because it's a secret organization and there's secret codes. And I really freaking dig that stuff. So in this one in particular, we get VFD popping up so many times. We see a vicious feline display. We see various fakery disguises, which I really enjoy. Obviously a kit that it seems that Olaf also has, because it seems like he was part of VFD at one point. And then they say volunteer feline detectives, which I'm like, are those people who go hunting down starving lions? Because they're not around anymore. That's why they're starving lions that are showing up in the next episode. I don't know. And then we saw verified film distribution, which we've seen before in the episode with Uncle Monty. And then we got the volunteer fire department, which I really love that reveal of it. I remember when I read the books and that they discovered that, I believe, in the books, the Baudelaires, that is, they kind of put it together, volunteer fire department. And I remember thinking, wow, Scott, you're a moron. How did you, when I was younger, so I had to give myself a little bit of credit, but it does feel like a very kind of obvious one. You're like, how did I not think the volunteer fire departments are real things, and I couldn't think of that as an acronym. That's not the right word. Anyways, but you know what I mean? So it's just really funny. Like, I just love that they get that reveal, and that it's such a simple kind of, commonplace almost thing. And it's just, I never really thought of it, because V is one of those words, it's one of those letters, that has a lot of words for it that you just don't always, maybe immediately think of, that there are just so many of them. But anyways, I just really like that we get that discovery in this one, and that it's just reminded me of when I was reading the books, because this is also one of the last books I read in the series, I believe. I think it is the last book I read in the series, so it's just a lot more connections to that, so I really enjoyed. Same with the fact that in this episode we get the House of Freaks. I like that the Baudelaires dress up as as conjoined twins, and somehow Olaf doesn't recognize them this time. He recognized Klaus before, but doesn't recognize them when they're standing beside each other, just with one coat on, or one shirt on. So it was just kind of funny. I like that. And then the House of Freaks, each individual are pretty cool, but there was one that I'm really, it's Robbie Amell. It's Robbie Amell. That's Stephen Amell's brother. He was in Legends. I just really enjoy that actor. The handsome freak who's ambidextrous. I'm just like, oh, that's such a freaking ridiculous one. And I can't remember if the House of Freaks from the show is matched up exactly as the same ones from the book or not. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you guys remember that or not. But yeah, they were just a fun little addition to this one, and I like that Robbie Amell was in it. Yeah, and then what else do I have written down? I like the tension that we see between Madame Lola or Lulu, Madame Lulu, and Esme. I just think it's really funny that the whole time Esme thinks that she's trying to steal Olaf, trying to steal her boyfriend Olaf, right? And the whole time it's just, it's just her playing a character because, Madame Lulu ends up turning out to be the librarian, which I suspected when I first watched this, but you obviously don't get that confirmation till the end just because she's got a lot of makeup different. I'm bad with faces sometimes too. So, but I'd like that reveal at the end that the Baudelaires get, the Baudelaires go through this whole episode, all these events without even for a second thinking that, she could be somebody that they know, and she does a great job of, for the most part, not giving it away. So I like that reveal at the end, and it's fun that, the way it kind of plays out through the episode. So that was a cool little bit added to it. At one point, Neil Patrick Harris makes a How I Met Your Mother joke a little bit. He's like, they're talking about going in the city, getting a TV show, and then Olaf, Neil Patrick Harris is like, I did that for 9 years, look where it got me. And I'm just like, It's just funny. I like those fourth wall breaks, which are just really funny like that. What else do I have written down? Oh, we see Lemony Snicket dressed up as a sad clown at one point, which I just thought was funny and suiting for his character. What else do I have? Okay, yeah, so we get into the Baudelaires discovering the VFD film files. They see a bunch of stuff and they start to learn a lot about the background information. They see Lemony Snicket on this film. They even make a comment like, oh, that looks like Jacques. And so it's really cool that we see that and that they're starting to learn about the VFD and what their parents were involved in and getting some of the answers. That's what I'm the most excited for about the next season, is get all these answers. So many questions. I have all the same questions as the Baudelaires, and I want them answers too. I want to know, was Olaf responsible for that fire? There was an arson disguise in the various fakery disguises kit. And it's just like, well, Olaf would have had that. First of all, why does a volunteer fire department have a costume or a disguise for arson? It's ridiculous, but it's a part of it. But yeah, no, I just really enjoyed that aspect of this episode. So I'm excited to get to the next episode, the last episode in this season, to get even some more answers. And then obviously it's one day closer to season 3, so I'm excited to get to season 3 and checking that out. But that's all I have for this episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments below anything I might have got wrong about connections between this episode and the books, and anything you might have liked about this episode or the book. Be sure, and thanks again for joining me today, and have a good one.